Truth Curie Stories. My son dumped me in a nursing home, but my secret daughter's revenge was worth the 30-year wait. Picture this. I'm 72 years old, standing in the lobby of Sunset Manor nursing home in Scottsdale, Arizona, watching my son Derek's BMW speed away without him even glancing in the rearview mirror. His wife Jessica had just finished explaining how taking care of me was affecting their marriage and the kids' college funds. Right, because the woman who worked 3 jobs to put Derek through medical school was suddenly too expensive to keep around. "Mom, it's just temporary," Derek had said, not meeting my eyes. "The facility has great reviews. We'll visit every weekend." That was 14 months ago. I've seen him exactly twice since then, once to sign papers giving him power of attorney over my accounts, and once when he needed my signature to refinance the house I'd given him as a wedding gift. The nursing home wasn't terrible, but it wasn't home. My days blurred together. Medication at 7, breakfast at 8, activities I didn't participate in, dinner at 5, and lights out by 9. The other residents had families who visited. Mine had apparently decided I was already dead. But here's where things get interesting. 6 weeks ago, this woman started showing up every Thursday morning, mid-40s, always wearing oversized sunglasses and a baseball cap pulled low. She'd leave a basket of fresh fruit at the reception desk specifically for me, then disappear before I could thank her. The staff thought it was weird. Volunteers usually stayed to chat, and they definitely didn't single out one resident. The 3rd week, there was a note tucked between the apples. "You deserve better than this. Someone who remembers." I couldn't shake the feeling. I knew those eyes, even behind the sunglasses. Something about the way she looked at me felt familiar, like she was memorizing my face, like she was trying not to cry. Week 5, she left something that knocked the wind out of me. A small ceramic rabbit, hand-painted with crooked ears. I'd made dozens just like it for craft fairs back in the 90s, but I'd only ever given one to someone special. My daughter. The daughter everyone thought died in a car accident 30 years ago. Except she hadn't died. I'd lost her a different way. See, my late husband Ray was what people politely called complicated. Translation, he was an abusive drunk who made our lives hell. One night, while I was working my night shift at the hospital, 8-year-old Sarah had spilled juice on his poker table. Ray locked her out of the house in the middle of a thunderstorm. A neighbor found her huddled under their porch and called CPS. By the time I got home, she was gone. Ray told everyone she died in an accident, threatened to kill me if I said otherwise. I spent years secretly searching, but Ray had connections, cops who owed him favors, judges who played in his poker games. Sarah vanished into the foster system, and I was forced to grieve a daughter who was still alive. The next Thursday, I waited in the lobby. When she walked in, I stood up and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Sarah! Sarah, is that you, baby?" She froze. Then the sunglasses came off, and 30 years of suppressed grief came pouring out of both of us. We collapsed into each other's arms, sobbing in that sterile nursing home lobby while confused staff members tried to figure out if they should intervene. "Mom, I thought you didn't want me," she whispered. "Dad told the social workers you agreed to give me up, that you picked Derek over me." My heart shattered all over again. This beautiful, successful woman, she was a pediatric surgeon now, can you believe it? Had spent 30 years thinking I chose to abandon her, while Derek, the son I'd sacrificed everything for, had literally abandoned me. Sarah had been searching for me for years. She'd hired private investigators, combed through records, but Ray had done his job well. It wasn't until she saw a local news segment about nursing home conditions that she spotted me in the background. The segment was about families abandoning elderly parents, and there I was, the poster child for forgotten mothers. "I've been watching you for weeks," she admitted. "I needed to be sure. I needed to know if you even remembered me." Remember her? I thought about her every day for 30 years. That's when Sarah noticed the medical alert bracelet on my wrist, the one that listed Derek as my emergency contact. She asked about him, and I tried to defend him at first. Old habits, But Sarah wasn't having it. Mom, when's the last time he visited? I couldn't answer. When's the last time he called? Silence. Does he even know what medications you're on? He didn't! The nursing home had been trying to reach him about a medication change for 3 weeks. Sarah's expression hardened in a way that reminded me of myself at her age, determined, protective, and absolutely done with people's bullshit. She said, "Pack your things. You're coming home with me." The nursing home tried to stop us. Apparently, Derek had specifically instructed them that no one could remove me without his permission. Sarah laughed, actually laughed. I'm her daughter and a licensed physician. I'm taking my mother home. If Derek has a problem with that, he can explain to a judge why he abandoned her here while stealing her Social Security checks. Oh yeah, turns out Derek had been collecting my Social Security and pension for a year while telling me the nursing home was eating up all my funds. The house I gave him, he'd taken out a second mortgage. My savings account, drained. Sarah didn't just take me home, she declared war. First, she hired a forensic accountant who uncovered everything, every forged check, every unauthorized transfer, every single penny Derek had stolen, nearly $200,000 over 14 months. That's fraud, elder abuse, and theft. In Arizona, that's serious prison time. Then, she hired the kind of lawyer that other lawyers are scared of, the kind that drive a Tesla and has never lost an elder abuse case. But here's the beautiful part. Sarah didn't tell Derek any of this was happening. For 3 weeks, I lived in her gorgeous Paradise Valley home while she built her case. She took me to real doctors who documented the bed sores I'd developed, the weight I'd lost, the depression medication the nursing home had put me on without proper authorization. Derek didn't even notice I was gone until the nursing home finally reached him, 3 weeks after I'd left. His first call wasn't to check if I was okay. It was just scream about the power of attorney. Who the hell are you? You can't just leave. I'm your legal guardian. Sarah took the phone from me. Hi, Derek. This is Sarah, your sister, the one you thought was dead. The silence was delicious. She continued, I'm recording this call, by the way. Please tell me more about how you have power of attorney over our mother while you've been stealing her Social Security checks. Derek started sputtering about how Sarah couldn't possibly be real, how this was some scam, how he'd call the police. Please do. Sarah said, I'm sure they'd love to see the evidence we'd collected. Oh, and Derek, check your mail. The next day, Derek was served with a lawsuit. Elder abuse, fraud, theft, breach of fiduciary duty. The works. The forensic accountant had found everything, even the vacation to Cabo he took with my money while I was eating mystery meat in the nursing home. But Sarah wasn't done. She contacted Derek's employer. Apparently, being charged with elder abuse doesn't look great for a pharmaceutical sales representative. She reached out to Jessica's wealthy parents, who were horrified to learn what her daughter had been part of. She even found the nurse at the nursing home who had been documenting Derek's neglect and convinced her to testify. The best part, Derek tried to contest Sarah's existence, claimed she was an imposter, until Sarah produced her birth certificate, her DNA test, and 30 years of documentation showing she'd been searching for me. The judge didn't just rule in our favor, he eviscerated Derek in open court, called him a disgrace to the very concept of family, and the worst case of elder abuse I've seen in 20 years on the bench. Derek lost everything. The house I'd given him had to be sold to pay me back. His wife divorced him once her parents cut them off. His job, gone. His reputation, destroyed. He had to move back to the same apartment complex where we'd lived when he was in high school, the one he always said he was too good for. Meanwhile, I'm living my best life. Sarah and I make dinner together every night. We're making up for 30 lost years. She's teaching me to use an iPad. I'm teaching her to make my grandmother's tamales. We go to therapy together on Wednesdays to work through the trauma of our separation. Last week, Derek sent a letter. No apology, just complaints about how wheat ruined his life. Sarah framed it, hung it in the bathroom. Every time I pee, she said, I can think about him crying in his studio apartment. That's my girl. Here's what Derek never understood. Children aren't retirement plans. You don't get to cash them in when convenient. The love you give comes back to you, but the neglect does too, with interest. Sarah found me when I'd given up hope. She didn't just save me from that nursing home. She showed me that the daughter I'd mourned for 30 years had never stopped loving me. That's worth more than an inheritance Derek thought he was getting. The text from Derek came last night. I'm your son. How could you do this to me?
I had Sarah text back for me, the same way you did it to me, except I gave you 14 months. You gave me forever. He hasn't responded. I don't expect him to. Some people say I'm being too harsh, that I should forgive him because he's my son. But here's the thing. Sarah is my child too, and she came back from me when she had every reason not to. She chose love over abandonment, healing over hurt. I turn 73 next month. Sarah's planning a huge party with all her doctor friends. She jokes that it'll be the first birthday party she's gotten to throw for me. I joke back that I'm making up for 30 missed birthdays of hers. We're not really joking, though. We're healing. And Derek? Well, last I heard, he was working at a call center, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out how someone who had everything handed to him lost it all. The answer's simple. He forgot that karma doesn't care if you're blood. It only cares if you're worth a damn. And he wasn't.